7:05. We do have a new member from earlier in the winter, Wadi Platt, and I guess you can see his picture. Hi, Wadi. We're very happy to have you. If you have any questions or anything as we move along, please don't hesitate to ask us. I don't know if anybody wants to go around and introduce ourselves, or we might wait till we.
You don't have to. I'll learn later.
We don't have to. You'll figure it out. Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Okay. So the first thing on our agenda tonight, we don't approve minutes at special meetings, so we're not going to do that. The first thing that we have on the agenda is to approve a special appropriation of $1,788,130 to be used to fund the Board of Ed's reopening expenditures due to COVID. And we have had an explanation in some of the memos that I've sent around, but Dr. Adley and Duke Deneen are here. Do you all want to say anything before we get started? Can you hear me? Are you muted?
I can hear you.
Thank you, Clara.
Oh, good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Good. Do you want to say?
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, just a quick thank you. I know it's challenging times and weather, but you know, between the Board of Finance, RTM Education, RTM F&B, everyone has really come together in a lightning speed to work through the appropriation process. So thank you from you know, the Board of Ed and the administration for working through this process with us. The timing has been perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good. Do we have questions for Duke or Dr. Adley, or any discussion? Did everyone? I have a question, so I'll ask it. I see that you got a grant of $596,804, but that's not the only grant you have gotten, is it? I mean, did you also get one for about $482,000?
Yeah, we actually have had. We've actually had about 3 grants, including that 596, which we still have to get 596. It needs to be opened. But we have 2 other grants that total about 482. One's the Coronavirus CARES Act, and the other one is the EFSA Round 1 grant, which is the Elementary Secondary School Act. So basically, we've got 3 grants.
Are they all federal? Are they all federal grants?
We got a state grant and 2 federal grants.
Okay, there was a $40,000 state grant that we approved in September too, I think. So I was just trying to get an idea of how much. I mean, you've gotten more than $1 million in grants, is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Clara, I think you bring up a good point, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. Our original appropriation of $2,384,934.
Right.
We didn't know the ESSER grant was coming. The ESSER grant, the administration got confirmation of it really that Friday of that week for $596,805. So when that portal opens, the finance team, Rich Rudel, will be submitting the expenses against that grant. So that grant was taken off the appropriation request of $2,003,000, which brought it down to the $1,788,000.
Okay. And I guess, has everybody seen what the money would, what the expenses were for? Mostly supplies, technology, PPE, that sort of thing. I don't think I see any personnel in the grant. Is that right, Duke? Can you hear?
Yep.
Is it correct to say that none of the grant money would be used for personnel?
So we have some of the money for the some of the money for staffing was for social distancing. So there was money for social distancing for additional staff.
For people?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Teresa?
Yeah, I have a quick question. How is it determined how much each district will get? Obviously, I looked at this through the whole document, and the amounts are all over the place for every town. So how is that being divvied up? How is that being decided?
Actually, it's somewhat of a means test, and it sort of follows the sort of Title I allocations of the grants we get for Title I, which is a federal grant. So it sort of follows the allocation rates associated with Title I funds.
Is that all right, Teresa? Does that answer? Okay. Other questions?
Yeah, just regarding the grant that we were informed we're getting, I mean, that's the equivalent of the check is in the mail, like there's no risk that we don't get it.
No, it's just a matter of the state opening the portal and then Rich Rudel and his team going through the portal to apply for those funds by submitting the expenses that we've incurred.
Any other comments or questions? Are you all ready to vote? I know that there were a lot of videos to watch. I mean, the Board of Finance opined on this and voted, and so did RTM F&B. And I just thought, it's a good thing. Any questions?
Would you repeat exactly what we're voting on?
Sure. It's on the warning, and what we're voting on is to approve or to vote to act on a special appropriation of $1,788,130 to be used to fund the Board of Education's reopening expenditures due to COVID. In reading the material about this, it appears that the money is going to come from the general fund. That was in the memo, I think, from Jen Charneski. And as I said, there are grants that were used against the original amount, which was $2,384,934. That was the original amount. Then the grants came in, and the amount that they need to take from the general fund has been reduced.
Great.
Other comments? Barbara?
Nope, I'm good.
You're good. Anybody else? Anybody who's kind of new to this have any questions about the whole process? Do any of the guests have any questions? I see that we have a lot of guests here, so do you have any questions or comments? No. Are you all ready to vote? Yes?
Yes.
Sure.
I think you have to unmute in order to say yes. Okay, so can we have a motion to approve the special appropriation of $1,788,130 to be used to fund the Board of Ed's reopening expenditures due to COVID?
I'll make a motion.
I would make a
Ann?
motion.
Okay, Ann and Teresa. Okay, is everybody ready to vote? Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed?
I really like a good cable television, 25, 30 minutes.
I think somebody,
I think somebody needs to mute their
It's Lucy.
okay, is anyone opposed? Is anyone abstaining? I didn't see any. Meg, did you get everybody?
I think so. I only have Tara as absent. So absent her, everyone voted yes.
Tara and Carolina are absent.
Okay.
Carolina's, she called me, okay?
Yep.
Okay, then it passes. Thank you, everybody. There is one other thing on the agenda, and that is there any other business relating to COVID-19 that anybody would like to discuss? No?
Clara, it's Teresa. I just wanted, I know it's the 2021-22 budget, but I just wanted to say that I was a little disappointed that the COVID expenses just for the first 45 days of opening the school year are not going to be in the budget next year. Those are known expenses that I feel like we should be budgeting for, and any grants we can get may cover the rest of the school year. I just, going to an appropriation constantly, to me, is just not an efficient way of running the schools. So I just wanted to get that out there. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else want to comment? Anybody from the committee?
I would agree with Teresa.
Okay.
So would I.
Okay, well, this is just a discussion, so, anybody else want to comment on, take the other position? I was thinking about it, and I wondered if the RTM has the power to reduce the budget, but not to increase it. If they were to have put the money in RC 28, if they would have voted to put that in the budget, and the RTM had reduced it by a certain amount, would that have been a problem for them once they, I think the issue is that they have that the expenses are known. And if the expenses are known and they can't apply for the grant, or they can't get the grant, then would that leave the Board of Ed in a position where they got no money? I don't know, just a different way of looking at it.
Well, it makes that account that we have, you know, essential that we keep money in it. That extra one, the floating one, whatever it's called.
Not the general fund, but the
Do
one.
you mean budget control, Barbara?
Yeah, budget control. Thank you. Yes,
Mhm.
that's what I was thinking.
Budget. Okay. Any other comments? I mean, this isn't something that we're going to resolve tonight or resolve at all, I don't think. So, I mean, it's good to know people's opinions. Does anybody else want to comment on this?
I just want to say, you know, obviously I'm new to this process, but I'm a little confused where there was an option to vote, because are we actually going to say, no, we don't need those expenses, or no, we're not going to support having safety measures that we had to have? So I'm not really sure what the purpose of this was, just to acknowledge that we see it and that's it. I don't think you can go back and say, well, actually, maybe we don't need the plexiglass. I mean, there are a number of parents in our community who are very stern supporters of having these kids return to school. You need all this stuff. So is there really an option to say, no, we really don't need that stuff? We didn't need it in a past tense. I mean, I guess I'm just, maybe it's more process oriented for accounting purposes, and that's fine, but I really didn't see how this is possibly a vote.
You were talking about the items, the things in RC 28.
Well, I'm talking about this particular special meeting. I mean, these are things that have been widely acknowledged as needed in order to foster return to school. So I'm not even sure how it's open for discussion. But again, that's just me being new to the process. So.
You mean you're wondering about tonight's meeting that we had tonight?
Yes.
To talk about the appropriation?
Correct.
Okay, well, I think that is part of the process. I thought we were talking about something else. So the point is that the Board of Ed can approach the RTM and the Board of Finance for money that they need to meet COVID expenses. And because the way the town charter is structured, it has to go through the Board of Finance and the RTM.
And can I just add that the better we understand it in detail and talk about it and have been presented with all this information, a lot of good data, by the way, then our support for it is based on fact and information. It's not just feeling good. So.
And just, in terms of semantics, it's a special meeting because it wasn't on the original schedule. That's why it's called a special meeting. So any meeting that's not on the original schedule is called a special meeting. So does anybody else want to weigh in on why we met tonight? Any of the Board of Ed folks who are still here? No? Okay, does that answer your question, Megan?
It does, thank you. And I'm sorry if my question is completely out of left field. So.
No, it's fine. I think it's good because there's a lot of new people in the group, and I think it's important to know why we did what we did. So it is because the funds were not there, and the Board of Ed had to apply to the Board of Finance and to the RTM to get the extra appropriation. Okay. Any other comments? Does anyone from the Board of Ed want to make any comments? I think Duke and Dr. Adley have left.
Okay.
Oh, no, there you are. I'm sorry. Did you want to make any comments? No? Is Tara, are you raising your hand? No, okay. All right. Is everybody ready to adjourn, or are there any more comments? Okay, could we have Ed, are you trying to ask a question?
No.
No, okay. Could we have a motion to adjourn? Okay, Anne, and
Second.
okay, I think that was Lonnie, or it might have been Lucy. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in again tonight, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. Have a great vacation, and stay well and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.